What's going on, guys? Finally out here doing the first ride on my 2019 Kawasaki Ninja H2 Carbon Edition. I've been waiting forever for this bike. This thing's just been a mess getting it here with the shipping company. I mean, it's been a huge headache. So I used Haul Bikes on this bike. I ordered it from California to be shipped here. They quoted me up to 3 weeks to get it. Up to 3 weeks. It took 2 months. 2 months to get the bike. And then after that, when I got the bike, they damaged it. Unfortunately, they scratched the tank right there, if you guys can see that. And they also cracked the side fairing. Expensive. So I've got this whole insurance quote thing open with them. Hopefully they take care of me. Hopefully, because the quote I got to fix those was $4,000. So yeah, it's not cheap at all. But without further ado, we have a first ride today on the bike. So this is a 2019. I bought it used. It had 250 miles on it when I got it. This is my first time riding it. AJ rode it when we went out and raced that Lamborghini. So this thing's basically brand new. Look how beautiful this carbon is, though. The carbon fiber on this thing is top notch. So nice. The paint it's the same color as the regular H2. It's just matte. And I mean, if you guys can see all the sparkle in it and the matte clear coat, it's self-healing clear coat on this bike. The frame is powder coated to that Kawasaki green with flake in it. I mean, the frame just looks amazing. Can you guys see all that flake in that? It's so nice. It's so nice. So I rode it about 15 minutes out here. Let's hop on this thing and do the first ride. Nice little startup screen. Okay, first things first I need to address on this thing. The tack is amazing. It's flat out amazing. I wasn't a fan of how the tack looked compared to the 2016, but it's so much nicer when riding on a super sunny day like it is today. You can actually see what's going on the dash. My 2016, when you're in direct sunlight, is really hard to read the speedo on it. This one is no problem. No problem at all. The controls and everything are laid out the exact same. KTRC we're going to leave in one. It lets you get a little froggy with it, you know, it lets you get the wheel off the ground and stuff. It's not technically wheelie control, it's more so traction control, and it watches the front and rear wheel speed sensor so it can see when one wheel is spinning faster than the other and back off power. So don't make the mistake of thinking it's wheelie control, because if it comes up really fast, you could flip the bike. So not only is the dash new on this bike has an Öhlins rear shock on it. My old bike did not have that. So as most of you guys know, I have a 2016 one, and it's a 300 wheel horsepower built and stretched bike. It does not have an Öhlins rear shock. This one does. The brakes are better on this. It's got newer updated Brembos on it that are a little bit bigger than the old ones. Stopping power is fantastic. The brakes work a lot better than the 2016 model. So this bike from the factory is supposed to have about 30 more horsepower than the older ones. Kawasaki claims it is reworked of the intake, but let's be honest here, they probably just gave the bike more power through the ECU, because these things are super neutered through the ECU stock. Oh man, it's so weird being on a stock H2 because there's no noise. The bike is so quiet and has so much power. I'm used to just it sounding as violent as it is. I have to admit, this is my first time ever riding an absolutely stock H2. This is my third H2. My first one was a 2016 that already had the Brock's Stage 2 package on it, and my other one that I currently have right now already had a Van Diemen and a flash on it when I got it. So I've never ridden a 100% stock bike unflashed. What tends to happen on this is the ECU starts closing the throttle plates around 10,000 RPMs, really cuts power down. So the bike makes right around 200 wheel horsepower from the factory, and with just a flash, this bike will pick up about 30 wheel horsepower. It's crazy how fast these bikes are with just a flash. I mean, even in factory form, this bike's very fast. Okay, so initial impressions of the bike. It's awesome. No, the dash is so nice. It's so nice. I didn't think I would be as impressed with the dash as I am. The brakes are better than the old model. I mean, all around, it's just a better bike than the old model. I kind of like the tack layout better of the 16 just for the tachometer though, but the LCD screen on this is sweet. And it tweets. It's got the blow-off valve tweets from the factory, guys. First things first, plans and mods on this bike. I am not getting crazy power-wise on this bike. The reason I bought it is I want to leave it stock wheelbase, so it's not getting an extended swing arm. I'm partnering with Two Wheel Dyno Works, and I'm partnering with Brock's Performance on this bike. Two Wheel Dyno Works is going to flash the ECU on it. I've used them before on my Yamaha MT-10 and love the work. That's going to gain huge power. The throttle response is going to be better because these bikes are known to have a snatchy throttle. Then for exhaust, I think I'm going to do the Brock's Pentacarbon exhaust, all black with the gloss black carbon fiber tip to match the nose of the bike. I'm going to do a Sprint P08 filter, and I'm going to do a JagerWorks intercooler because these bikes are known to create huge amounts of heat, and as everybody knows, heat is not good on these bikes. You do not want a lot of heat. So being that it's supercharged and being that it's non-intercooled from the factory, intercooler is top on the list of things I need to do to this bike. As far as appearance mods, obviously fender eliminator. This thing's got an absolute boat anchor on the back of it. I mean, just the amount of power in the mid-range. It's like partial throttle. Bro. Stock, this thing is pretty silly fast, to be honest with you. So yeah, fender eliminator, absolutely. I think I'm going to do some BST carbon fiber wheels on this bike. Probably do upper and lower H2R carbon fiber wing. And I think that's pretty much all I'm going to do to this bike. I'm just going to enjoy it after that. You get too crazy on modding, like my other H2 is 300 wheel horsepower. When you get that crazy, the rideability is not as good as it is from the factory. I mean, it's got H2R cams and stuff, so down low, you're sacrificing power for power up high in the RPM range. Like this bike, between 4 and 8,000, has so much more power than my 300 wheel horsepower bike. It's got more of that oomph in the middle, where the 300 wheel horsepower bike, like right around 8 to 10,000, it just freaking turns it on. Now these bikes are known to have a snatchy throttle. I got on this bike expecting it to be super horrible, and really it's a lot better than both of my other H2s had been. Now both of them were flashed. One had auto tune and one had a Ghoul flash on it. This one is not bad. It is still snatchy, but it's usable. Like the other one, for instance, my one with the Ghoul flash, this was 3 years ago though. I don't know if it's since been rectified, but it had a Ghoul flash on it, and it was so freaking touchy that like when I'm going through an intersection, like if I'm starting off and going and turning in an intersection, I would have to ride the clutch throughout the entire intersection because there was no give it a little throttle. It wanted to just freaking go. I forgot how much fun a stock wheelbase H2 is. It's going to be so much more fun. After Two Wheel Dyno Works unlocks its ECU, it's going to be so much more powerful. This bike has so much power just right in the middle of the RPM band. You don't even have to be redlining this bike to have fun with it. So this bike has lean sensitive ABS and lean sensitive traction control. In other words, it's going to save you a lot of times that you're getting in over your head. You're grabbing too much throttle. coming out of the corner, because this bike, it's easy to grab too much throttle at any point in time. One thing that I really need to do that I forgot to list on the mods, that windshield is not great. I don't like the stock windshield. It's not high enough. You can't really get tucked really well. So I'm probably going to do like a Puig windshield on it. That's what I have on my 16 H2, and I love it. I'll probably do more of a smoked one on this, just because it's going to look better with the carbon fiber front end. So this bike has the Bridgestone Battle Axe RS11s on it. I had the RS10s on my R1, did track days on that bike, and love those tires. So I have a feeling I'm going to fall in love with these tires. The brakes are great. They are absolutely great on this bike. She's a big girl to get stopped, and they have no problem doing it. Freaking takeoff mode. Oh, this bike's so much fun. Oh man, I forgot how much fun the twisties were on a stock wheelbase H2. This is a lot of bike for backroad stuff. Kawasaki, bravo on this bike. Good job. It's so weird having mirrors and being able to see behind me. She has plenty of power to lift the front whenever you want to. Whenever you want to. Yeah, I can't wait to get that pentacarbon on this thing because it needs some freaking noise. And these bikes absolutely scream with an exhaust. I had a Brox Alien Head on my first one. I had a Van Diemen on my second one. And I'm going to have the Brox pentacarbon on this one. They sound fantastic with every exhaust I've heard on this bike. And the stock exhaust just is absolutely ugly as crap and weighs a ton. Oh, I forgot, guys. I'm definitely doing the Turbo Smart blow-off valve on this too. I'm probably just going to order two of them, put one on my 16 H2 and one on this H2. It's supposed to help a little bit with the snatchy throttle as well, because it's not recirculating all the air back into the intake, so that helps, and they sound amazing. The Ninja H2 owners meetup is coming up here soon, so if you have an H2, we are doing a meetup in Atlanta in a couple weeks here. Comment down below if you have an H2. You have to have an H2, and you need details on the meet. I'll hook you up. There's going to be a lot of us there. I'm bringing both of my H2s. We're going to be battling. So if you think you can sit next to my 300 horsepower H2, let me know. If you need me to be on the stock H2, I'll be happy to race you on my stock H2 as well. It's going to be a ton of fun. Damon's putting on the event, aka Super H2. I went last year. It's always fun. This year it's specifically H2 though. Yeah, so I am super impressed with this bike straight from the showroom floor. If I wasn't worried about racing or anything, you could put a slip-on on this bike and just ride it stock and it would be 100% fine. But you need some noise out of the bike. You can't have a supercharged H2 being this quiet. You just can't. It's so weird how quiet it is and how much thrust there is. Like, it doesn't make sense in your mind. It kind of reminds me of being in a Tesla, like P100D or P90D, where it's just absolutely insane amounts of acceleration and not a lot of noise. So guys, give me some insight on what mods you think I should put on this bike. Comment down below. Let me know what you think I need to put on this. Let me know if there's stuff I missed that I need to be looking into. Let me know what you think of the Carbon Edition. I'm split. I don't know if I like the matte paint better than the regular H2 paint. 100% like the carbon fiber front end. That's baller for sure. But let me know your guys' thoughts on it. As always, like and subscribe. Till next time, guys.